Hey, Surfer Dude, film nerd, back finally. Took a while to get them all together. Now, the film we're going to talk about today is Spider-Man Homecoming. Just opened. We've just seen it. We just went and saw it together. And we're just going to go very quickly, give you what we think about it, what we think about the new Spider-Man, and then we'll go to discuss the plot and discuss the film generally, and then we'll have spoilers. So this first bit is just whether you think you should go see it. What do you think?
Okay, I loved it. Just loved it. And not being a Spider-Man fan, not seeing too much previous to it, not knowing much about it, it was a great movie. And being in a theatre with school holidays and kids, all the atmosphere, fantastic. So I actually loved it.
Did you like Tom Holland as Spider-Man?
Oh, is that his name? Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
Sorry, Tom, out there. Is he the first or second? I know Tobey Maguire was one, wasn't he?
Okay, he's pushing. Do you like him or not?
I do like him. I think he's cheeky, funny, and a great personality.
Okay. I loved it as well. I'm going to talk about why later. And I also thought Tom Holland was brilliant. I think it's the best Spider-Man movie yet. Better than Spider-Man 2. Sorry, Sam Raimi. And I think Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man. But you know what? This film is really designed for kids, teenagers. If only we had one. I had one and I made him earlier. Come in, Mr. 11-year-old. Now, Mr. 11-year-old, do you like Tom Holland as Spider-Man?
Yeah, it was very good. He really fit the perspective of a Spider-Man.
Okay, and do you think this film is good? Should kids go and see it?
Yes.
Okay, now you've got it. What we're going to do, we're going to come back and we're going to discuss the plot and then later on spoilers. See you then. Okay, we're back now, and this part we're going to discuss just basic plot points, so if you don't want to know anything, shut off now, but generally we're not going to spoil the film. This bit we're just going to say why we think the film is good or bad. So I'm going to start off, Surfer Dude, you did think it was good?
Yes, I did. Okay.
Why is it good?
Why do I think it's good? Okay, I'm not a comic guy reading. I don't know a lot. I wouldn't normally see a sort of superhero kind of movie opposed to war or documentary kind of thrillers. Having seen there and watching this movie, I was blown away. The storyline just flowed beautifully, understood where it went and where it was going, but there was a lot of little twists. So I actually thought it was beautifully shot, beautiful script, and some movies you kind of do get a bit bored and you kind of sort of think, well, you know, but it didn't. This thing kept me completely... And, you know, I really enjoyed it. Visually, it was a great movie.
It rockets along.
Oh, it's a roller coaster ride. There's no kind of stopping and a lot of drama or like the other Spider-Man I saw, which was the upside down Kirsten Dunst kiss thing. It was all
Sam
romance.
Raimi. Very different film to the Sam Raimi films. Sam Raimi films were very intense, and I really enjoyed them, but this one is much different. The one thing I wanted to say was, if you think about the challenge of this film, it's a reboot of a reboot. Within 10 years, we've had Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and now we've got Tom Holland. So, for this
he was
film,
great. I loved it. He was a cheeky, his personality, his voice, a bit like a Michael J. Fox kind of character, cheeky. That's what the Spider-Man traditionally is. When you look at the early...
He's a kid.
Yeah.
He's actually a kid.
He's a
He
Spider
should be
boy.
called
He's
Spider
a boy.
Boy. I agree. I was just about to say that. Yeah.
He's really he's not a man, but he kind of fits into a man's world. The interaction between the characters was incredible, and obviously it'll go into that more in terms of, you know, Iron Man and the villain, you know,
The Vulture.
The Vulture. And and look, at the end of the day, I think it's bang for buck. It's just a great movie visually, and I loved it. I really loved it.
Look, I loved it as well. I think it's a really good film. I think that it's when you consider it, the way I view it is, it's a comic book film, and it's really a John Hughes comedy.
Yeah.
Like he has a couple of tips of the hat to Ferris Bueller. Think more, it's like Birthday Club, Breakfast Club meets Spider-Man. So you get all the teen comedy stuff and all the angst of going to school, and you get all the big set pieces. In fact, what I think this does is it has very small scale for most of the time. This isn't the world being invaded. You are as worried whether Peter Parker will make it to the homecoming dance, just as much as whether he'll be able to battle the villains. So I think does that really nice balancing act between the two. Great cast. So Tom Holland we've already talked about. We're going to talk about Michael Keaton in a second. But in every other role, they've got these little roles which are filled by great actors. You've got Matthew Starr. You've got Donald Glover, who ironically wanted to be Spider-Man for a long time. You've got Zendaya. You've got Hannibal Buress. Bokeem Woodbine is there. I mean, it's just great. It's really well done.
The cast is amazing. I mean, I think there's a young guy in it that's sort of a
Jacob Batalon.
Yeah, the friend, the sort of chubby friend of there, and his role was really good. He was in a lot of scenes, and it was really a great trade-off between a guy who didn't know his best mate was Spider-Man type thing, and it was just a really clever interaction of that, as well as the girl interest. So yeah, he
does really well. So let's fold this into, look, every superhero film is only as good as the villain, and this film, it's Michael Keaton, and he plays the Vulture. So what did you think?
I got a bit confused. I saw the movie Birdman, and I know he became this, in his mind, a bird. And I said to Eden, isn't he like the Birdman thing from the movie? He said, Andrew, there's no connection. But it's a kind of subtle way of bringing him into that character, which got an Academy Award role. Yeah. And I thought it was a really clever sort of underlying kind of thing. I don't know.
It is ironic that he should play the Birdman, in which someone struggles with playing this iconic superhero.
He is the best villain.
And now he's the Vulture.
He's one of the best villains you can get. Like, he plays great comedy and great serious roles, but when it comes to villains, he's got that really creepy sort of, you don't know, from Beetlejuice maybe, I don't know, from the early days.
He's got very good range. He's that typical the comedian who can be the really Mr. Mom good guy, and then when he goes a bit angry,
psycho,
you go, uh-oh, Michael Keaton's angry, and he does it really well.
In a few scenes he does that without spoiling it, and it's like, whoa, you know, it's kind of,
I thought he was really, really good. And what I like about it is he's a bit of a Trumpian kind of villain. And what I mean by that is he goes, oh, the government's against us, all the big guys are against us, we're gonna go back. And he, at all times, you kind of go, well, at least I can see where he's coming from, which is, you know, a bit interesting. He's more Tony Soprano.
You have sympathy. You kind of understand his cause. You sort of go along with his ideals of what he wants.
You want him stopped, but you kind of get what he's doing.
I found myself actually hating Iron Man in it. I thought Iron Man was a bit of a bastard. I mean, I don't know.
I like Iron Man.
Anyway, I thought that character was a bit...
Penman's a bit on left field there on that one.
A bit cocky, full of himself. But, you know, Robert Downey Jr.'s performance
was... Is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we get to spoilers?
No.
Me either. Let's go to spoilers. Okay, we're back now for spoilers, and some films, this is the biggest section. In this film, there isn't that much, because A, it's Spider-Man, we know the story, in the sense of, not so much the story, we know the character, and it's a typical comic book film, and there's not really that much, you know, of a twist or anything to it. It's just the film plays out, and...
Well, how about when he got the upgrade? That was, you know, I loved that. He thought he had all these powers, and all of a sudden, there was this, like, special button he pushed where he was out of training mode into, like, full, all your armors released, all your buttons, your webs, and all that. And that was kind of cool, because I thought he could have did everything he could possibly do, and then suddenly had all these superhuman extra gadgets.
So the Surfer Dude is correct in that it plays with this idea of what Spider-Man can become. So the biggest twist probably is that at the end of the film he gets asked to join the Avengers, but he thinks it's a test and says no. But also he is the story arc is he's grown up over the whole film and is a little bit wiser now about that he should stay in school, that he probably needs to learn a few more lessons about who he is and about Spider-Man, so he turns down the Avengers.
And that's quite a mature decision to make.
It is,
for a kid who pretty much hasn't got a girlfriend, lives at home with his parents, really hasn't have the worldly attributes that you'd imagine a superhero to have. He decides, you know what, I'm not taking the $1 million job, I'm going to knock it back. And the suit was amazing. That's a good sport. The new suit, you have to see that, the new suit.
So they hint at the beginning. Now, if you think about it from a movie sense, very clever, because what they're doing is they're really saying we can do a couple more Spider-Man films. We can probably keep him more the teenage adventures, all that kind of thing. And then eventually, in a couple of years, he can join the Avengers, get the super suit, everything, and then they can put it together.
They just keep dragging it.
They can drag it out.
That's why you're a film nerd and I'm the surfer dude. Because I didn't pick up on the,
That's one of the reasons.
the business.
Plus, I can read. So couple attributes.
I can't even read comics. I don't even read comics.
The other twist, which is a little twist, is Zendaya is in the film, and she's really not in the film that much. And in the last, or the second last scene, she says what her name is. And to people who are comic book fans, up to then she'd just been, I think, Michelle, and she goes, "I'm MJ." And anyone who knows, that's a play on Mary Jane and the typical, you know, Spider-Man love interest from the Spider-Man movies and from the comics. So
didn't get that one. That one went right to the keeper. So that slipped through. I didn't get that.
It'll be interesting to see. He'll come back in another film, and will they be the power couple coming up? The only other thing is, at the end of the film there are 2 stingers. So if you're the kind of person who loves to see that kind of stuff, the second stinger is not that great, but the first one's okay.
It is great if you wait long enough and you're not
we felt like idiots. We felt like idiots. I really, for the first time I went, they're punishing me for being the kind of guy who stays till the end of the
And for
credits.
those of you that don't know what stingers is where at the end of the movie the credits come down, there's another scene and everyone left, but the back there was all the diehard Spider boy, man, whatever.
Comic boy. I don't think they
Marvel heroes.
Spider-Man.
They knew that was coming, but it's worth sticking around and don't go out and watch the whole credits.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This one maybe not so much. Look, final thing. The film goes 133 minutes. I thought it was maybe one set piece too long. The best set piece in the whole film is the Washington Monument. I thought if they could have cut it down by 15 minutes, the film would have been almost 100%. But I did start to get a little bit tired by the last
that's a good point.
20 minutes.
Agreed. And you know, there's 4 major, I'll be very quick, 4 major big scenes, like big scenes. 4, which you can normally have in back 20 years ago, you'd have 1 scene in a movie with that big action. There's 4 of these things. They're just massively huge productions on CGI. So that was probably a bit overkill and it's a bit too much. That's what I thought.
I agree. But all in all, really, when you consider that it could have been a train wreck, this is great. Tom Holland's great. Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing, I've just been seeing so many good films lately, and they've already got, you know, a line of them coming up. So I think it'll be really good. Hopefully I'm going to get back Surfer Dude as often as we can.
Well, I've been busy with my channel doing electric skateboard reviews, which is what Eden's been explained to you. So I'm going to be in and out whenever I can. And obviously this is an incredible channel. This guy
we're going to cut that. So look, if you want to see more of Andrew Penman, he's got his own channel, which is the World Knowledgeable Guru. You go onto his site and basically on YouTube, and you comments from all over the world about skateboards. He's the world expert, so go and check that out. But you can also see him here talking about film. If you want to see me, I've got my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. More subscriptions I get, then the more time I get. But I'm also on Twitter at Guru Eden.
And so no one knows more about films, books, and
that's
TV.
it. We're going to start. Okay, I'll see you next time.